Cauliflower is one of my favorite foods, and so today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do cauliflower steak with black bean and mango salad. So the first thing I want to do is cut the steaks. Now, cauliflower is something that is an immature plant, and so what we're going to do is we're going to turn it over so we can follow it. We want to make sure that when we buy it, you make sure you get really firmly tight buds. But I'm going to cut down both sides of the stem in order to make something that looks like a steak. So as you've got it upside down, just be careful not to press too hard on it because you don't want to squash the buds on the other side. Now, we obviously are going to want to save the rest of the cauliflower. So this is all going to get saved for another of Now, if you wanted to, this is going to go in the oven and roast for about 30 minutes total. If you wanted to, you could let it roast for about 10 minutes. Then you could add some of the other cauliflower florets. I'm not going to today. I'm going to save them for a separate event. Now, we're going to slice this again. You want to make sure that it's no thicker than half an inch or no thinner than half an inch. Since I've got two cauliflower heads here, I'm going to go ahead and cut this one a little bit thicker. I like it a little bit thicker. It holds up and it combines with the other salad we're going to do a little bit better. Now you can see how it's called a steak. It's simply a big plank. My daughter says it's mislabeling. It's not a steak, but it's going to work for what we're going to do today. Now to that, I've got about 2 teaspoons of vegetable oil, and I'm not going to use it all the first time because I'm going to turn these over. We've got our oven preheating at 425. I'm just going to brush the top with a pastry brush, and I'm doing this. It's going to help it crisp up a little bit, but more importantly, it's going to help our seasoning stick to it a little bit better. So just brush that on, and then we'll come back over here, and we've got our seasonings measured out so they're going to be easy to combine. I've got 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and this makes more than you need for this one recipe. It's also terrific with fish like tilapia. You could use it on that as well. I've also got 1½ teaspoons of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, a teaspoon of oregano, and 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. I'm just going to stir those together, and we're going to sprinkle part of this. Remember, we don't need it all for this recipe, but we are going to use maybe about 1/4 of it here. So this makes enough for 2 batches of this or another batch with some fish, and just sprinkle it over. Get that on there, and then this again is going to go in the oven. Going to be in there at about 20 minutes at 425, and at that point we're going to come back and turn it over. But while it's in the oven during that first 20-minute time, we're going to make the salad that this goes with. So stay with me. The black bean and mango salad that we're going to go on here, you want to make it up while the cauliflower's in the oven with the first go round because you want those flavors to kind of blend together and mellow out. So I've got 2 cups of black beans. If you're buying black beans, use the ones that don't have extra salt added to them or have a reduced sodium content. So to that, I'm going to add about 1 cup, 3/4 to a cup of cucumber that you've cut pretty small. Now, everything should be no bigger than the black beans. And you could use other beans if you didn't have black beans, but that's the one that I'm using because it has the most color contrast. I'm also going to add 1 mango, again, cut up about the same degree. Get a ripe one if you can find it because they're much sweeter and better flavor. I've got about 1/2 cup of red onion. Let me see, 1/3 cup of lime juice. Now, if your mango is not really ripe, you may want to hold back a little bit on the amount of lime juice that you add because it's going to add more tartness and you're not going to get the sweetness. You could also add just a little bit of sugar to it to help balance it out. 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/4 cup of chopped cilantro, and if you don't like cilantro, flat leaf parsley will work just as well here, just to give it some green color to it. And then about 2 tablespoons of canola oil. You're just going to stir those together again, as I mentioned, and let them set and mellow out together. And you can see that you get all these beautiful colors coming up through here. And that's really going to contrast and be really pretty against the colors that we're going to get on our cauliflower steak. Okay, this group has been in the oven for about 20 minutes, and my oven timer is screaming at me. We're simply going to flip them over Do this a little bit gently because, as you can see, some of the little floret pieces are starting to come loose a little bit. You can see we've got great color on this other side too. Oh, and they smell terrific. If you've not roasted cauliflower, it does become sweeter as it roasts. It concentrates the sugar down. And we're going to take a little bit more of our vegetable oil. You'll have to forgive my beeping over there. And simply brush it on a little bit, and then we're going to put some more of our seasoning on. Now, if you have the option at this point, you could leave off the additional seasoning if you want to taste more of the cauliflower, because it will give you more of the seasoning flavor and a little bit less of the cauliflower will shine through. So that's up to you. You might want to try it half and half and see which way you like it when you try the recipe the first time. That's all there is. This is going to go back in the oven, again, still at 425 for another 10 minutes. And then you'll be ready. Just because your timer goes off and off and off and off doesn't mean that you're actually done. So look at them, make sure they're kind of golden and crispy looking around the edges, and then you're ready to go. Again, they've gotten a little bit softer, so carefully move them either to a platter or to a plate. I'm just going to plate up one serving here. Get the last little bits off that one there. I know somebody'd be angry if they didn't get the whole thing. All right, then we're going to serve about half of the salad over the cauliflower steaks that we've made. And you can actually spread some across and then trail it on across the plate if you'd like. And then pass the rest of the salad, because people are probably going to want some more with this because it's really, really good. I hope you'll give this one a try. It's cauliflower steaks with black bean and mango salad.